Happy day, YouTube. My name is John, and this is my channel, The Intermancer. At the end of the last episode, I had just realized that I have a lot of changes I need to make in various places. And I realized this because I was working on the tests for this basic organism breeder that I've been putting out, and I recognized that it was comparing chromosomes based on ID. And that is not great behavior because I asked the LLM specifically in my description here of breeding, organism breeder, imagine parents. I didn't say clone. Nothing in here says clone. Okay. But I also noted that I knew that these tests were going to fail just by reading them because it clearly did not understand its own behavior. So I'm clearly hitting the limits of the comprehensibility that the LLMs have for the code, which was expected. I knew it would happen. I expected it to take longer than it has. So, first off, I am going to start here at organic classes, and I realize that I don't need to have the getID method at the data quantum consumer because I need it for genes because of data points, and I need it at organisms because of the organism repo, but there's no reason for chromosomes to have an ID. It makes them more testable, but I can do that with overriding the equals function. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to remove getID from the interface here. And I am, does it have getID? This.getID. Okay, gene is a data quantum consumer. I'm going to add methods here because all of this is the description of how all that I have currently for gene is a description of its consume behavior. But okay, not that, that's test stuff. All of this stuff is its consume behavior. But I took getID out of this, so we need to add it back in here. So methods, and properties. Okay. String ID. The ID property is accessible through a standard getter and setter. And then this one comes from here. Target index list. Oh, okay. Methods and properties. Okay. So this target index list is here. So we'll say list double target index list. And I'll grab this description. Okay. Operation constant list. List double operation constant list. I'll grab this one from here. I don't need this line because I already rewrote it. Operation. Okay. Abstract double. Okay, so this one we got to take out on its own. Then grab this line, move it up. Okay. And Gene implements a template method for, okay, all that is good. And all of this text should go above the methods and properties. Okay. Test gene, which concrete is needed for in the test code. So that, okay, that's good. All that's good. All of this is good. String ID, chromosome, consume. Okay. That should be what I want. Chromosome and organism, I need to do something very similar. Add chromosome, get chromosomes, methods, and properties. I'm going to do the same thing for ID here in organism. Okay. That is all good. Gene, all good. Now, I need some basic advice from Claude. How does cloning work in the latest version of Java? In Java, object cloning is a way to create a copy of an existing. There are several approaches in modern Java. Clonable interface implements clonable. Returns person super clone. It only doesn't clone referenced objects. The clonable interface is a marker interface without methods. It's considered in modern Java development. Deep cloning approaches. Copy constructors. Okay, copy constructor. Static factory methods of and static factory methods. So class person, private constructor, and static class copy of. I think I'm going to have to go with this. Oh, what's this? Records automatically provide immutable data classes with built-in equals, hash codes, and toString methods. Equals hash toString methods. That's crazy. That's a whole lot of stuff to create a deep copy. Return new person, this, name. This is interesting. There's a whole bunch of stuff here. Ooh, serializable. Okay. Serialization-based cloning extends serializable. That's different. That is different, but it gives me an idea because I could use the object mapper stuff for cloning. I'd just be cloning. I could have an organism cloner and a chromosome cloner. I don't need an organism cloner. I just need a chromosome cloner. I'm liking that so far. That's the easiest. Using external libraries, serialization utils. Provide utilities, serialization utils.clone original person cloned. Modern best practices. In modern Java development, these approaches are generally preferred. Immutable objects create objects that can't be changed after construction, and eliminating the need for cloning. That doesn't eliminate my need for cloning, because the reason I need to clone is because I'm going to need to mutate these objects, these chromosomes and organisms and genes. Okay, copy constructors for maintaining control over the copying process. I like the factory method, builder pattern for complex object creation with optional parameters, records. Okay. I think I am going to add this clonable thing. It does this, but I don't need that. So I'm not going to implement clonable. But I'm going to say clone of, or of. Clone method is return new person original dot name static. Okay, that's a constructor. Okay. So I have decided that I'm going to add since it says copy of here, that's probably the standard. I think that's what I'm going to do. How will we do this? How will we do this? It's going to be hardest at gene, because the gene class is an abstract class. So what I will do is I will say we will add a new one here of static. Static void copy properties. Copy copy properties, gene. Clone properties. Clone properties. Clone. So what I'm thinking I'm going to do is copies. Clones creates a new target index list and new values and copies over new instances of each value from the current. Creates a, okay, how do I say this? Creates a clone of target index list by creating a new list double and adding new instances of every element in target index list. Okay. And adding new instances of every element in target index list. Sets the target sets the target calls clone dot set target index list. Boy, I'm really having to get into the Java specifics here. I was trying to avoid that. I don't know how I'm going to avoid that here. At best, I don't know that I'm even saving myself any typing at this point when I'm describing things this way. But right now, I don't know of a better way to do that. This is hopefully something I learned my way through. But right now, this is where I'm at. Calls target with the clone. Okay, and I want to do the same thing for operation constant list. Okay, so those are both list doubles, so that works out. Creates a new UID for the clone gene. Okay. Dum, 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 dum. There. We're going to test this out. We are going to have this test this out. Now we're also going to need an abstract gene clone. Every concrete gene will need to implement the clone method by first instantiating a new instance of the same type, and then calling clone properties Eugene. I'm passing in the new instance. All right, this is going to be a big change. This is going to be a big change. But this clone properties and clone mechanism will hopefully work for all of my genes. We'll see in a minute. Now we're going to have to do this similar thing for chromosome. Okay. So let's add some flavor text to chromosome. Do I have gene? How does this look when I do the preview? That's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to see the preview. Gene. Okay, that looks okay, but how does it look in the repo? Source, main, boom, boom, boom. Oh no, this isn't what I want. Context, organic classes, data quantum, consumer gene. Okay, that's looking all right. All of that looks all right. All right. So chromosome, I want to continue this. A chromosome, let's give it some chromosome is a set of genes that are is a set of genes. Chromosomes can be cloned. And I've got some behavior I'm planning on chromosomes that I'm not going to worry about putting in right now. But methods and properties. Organism. Get chromosomes, get chromosomes. Okay. I'm going to have the set chromosomes here. Oh, this is boilerplate stuff. I don't like having to say this. But here we are. Void list. No, I just need to do it this way. String ID, so I can just say list of chromosomes. So I did it before. The chromosome property is accessible through standard getter and setter. That's the easy way. Easy way for that. Does feel like I'm having to say a lot though. Oh well. Doesn't need, okay, organism. That's good. List genes. The genes property, chromosomes property. Take care of that. Take care of that. Clone. Okay, consume. I'm just going to grab this. Okay, just taking care of a bunch of stuff, cleaning up a bunch of stuff. ID, organism. Okay, I'm finally back to here. Clone properties, it's not static. Super dot clone properties, there we go. That's not static, it's new ID. Okay. Okay, we'll just add this clone method. Returns a new instance of chromosome. Genes. The genes property, the new chromosome is created by calling clone on each of the genes on the original chromosome. Oof, that's a lot of changes, man. That is a lot of changes. It's a lot of changes, and I'm at about the 30-minute mark. I did go downstairs a little bit. This might be a long video because this is a lot of changes and I need to see if things are working. A lot of changes. All to get the basic breeding done right. Because right now it fails. So build's gonna fail. But that's fine for now. That is fine for now. Okay, save this. I am going to not take the basic organism breeder test because it's not good yet. And I need to bring all these changes in for gene and chromosome. It's not too many changes on, and also for organism because the get ID is no longer specified at the data quantum consumer level. So I'm going to have to generate those classes from scratch along with their test classes. Made some changes to gene, chromosome, and organism to support breeding. Okay, we'll commit and push this. Now when I generate, oh, this is going to cause so much mess, but it's fine. It is fine. We'll go here, go to projects, new project, refresh this, sync this. I have made changes to organic classes MD so that to support the breeding functionality that I'm building in to the system. Regenerate gene.java, chromosome.java, and organism.java and their corresponding test classes to add the new cloning behavior. Let's see what this does. Okay, so it's doing the gene stuff right now. Right here it says organism doesn't explicitly need cloning in the document, but it would be consistent to add it. That's an entire projection on its part, and it's wrong. I just want it to take away the override annotation on the get ID method is really all I'm looking for there. Organism, let's see. What does it do for organism? don't even need it. I'm just not gonna do that. I'm just gonna. I'm starting to just discount some of the things that the LLM that Claude's telling me. And I think that this shows some of the limits of using the LLM to generate code, which is good. This is exactly what I wanted to find out. What are these limits? Update test genes, that's good. Addition gene, ooh, it's making all the changes to the individual genes. That's good. Operation. Wow. Okay. At first it wasn't impressing me because it added that unnecessary clone to the organism class, but I didn't even tell it that it needed to go through all of the basic genes and update those, and it realized it needed to do that on its own. So this is good. We've got a lot of code we'll look through here. Chromosome test, 3 chromosome test. Okay, so I hit the limit on all the output, but Claude says, hey, you hit the limit, you can just keep on going if you just want to do another one. And this I think relates to the fact that I'm using the Pro subscription, which is just $20 a month instead of the next one up, which is like $200 a month. That gives you a whole lot more tokens in case you're wanting to use the inline code suggestions, which obviously I'm not doing. So let's see how this goes. What is it doing now? Test chromosome order matters. Organism cloning. Oh. Organism test. Addition gene test. There shouldn't even be a change for that. Oh, it's using the clone and all of that. Oh, it's going to go through all of them. All right, that's a little bit of a heavy lift. I don't know that we needed to do all of that. Okay, I'm going to look at those results, and I'm probably just going to... No, I'm going to take them. I'm going to take them just the way it gives it to me. I'm probably going to need to continue again, though. Let's see if it keeps going. Wow. This is a lot of code from a single prompt. I'll continue. Sign gene test. Wow. It did a lot. That was a lot. That was a whole lot. Okay. This is going to be interesting. This is going to be very interesting. Okay. Updated gene. Class, it kept the class, that's good. Yeah, I mean, they kept the use of class on the JSON type info. It's got all of that stuff the way I wanted. Get ID, consume, that's the way I expect. Get ID, operation, declared abstract clone properties, protected, okay. Clones target index for each new integer index. Okay, for each of those, good. Set clone target index list. That's good. Same for operations, and then I have to do that. This looks like I want. So we'll take that, updated gene. Whew. This is interesting because we're going to be taking a whole lot of changes and working iteratively with the LLM to get everything to build correctly, because right now it's not even building. If I try to build it right now, it might compile, but certainly my tests are going to fail. Certainly my tests are failing. So it compiled fine, but it's not running tests. Let's build failed with exception. Okay, that's fine. Output. All right. But let's go to gene, which is what I have a new one of. Okay, so we've got the new gene. That's great. This is going to definitely cause some problems with my, is it building things? Problems. And mark for removal. So what's the preference? This might be a place for the Copilot. What is the preferred replacement for the integer int constructor that has been deprecated? Value of. Okay. That's interesting. So something I'm learning here is that there are places where the LLM does things in an old way. As a lot of people will tell you, LLMs are trained on a big body of work. So there's a lot of Java code out there. And so the LLMs don't necessarily do things the newest way. They do things, since they don't think, and instead they do things based on statistics. They have a tendency to do things the most popular way. And so when a method has been deprecated, LLMs can be slow to use the new approach. So I'm going to just take that change. I'm going to say integer value of. Integer dot value of. Okay, and double value of. I don't think I can use constant. I think constants are reserved words, so I have to say old constant. Okay. Okay, constant's not a reserved word. Constant's not a reserved word. It was giving me the right color there. What I was saying, though, is that this is one of those places where you definitely are using both the LLM and the IDE and your own expertise to make something good, because the LLM was giving me these old ways of doing new integers and doubles. So I'm doing the new way here, getting rid of that. Whatever, failure. Okay. Gene has that. Add data points. I think I've got that correct. I can save this. Now that that's saved, is it going to give me my problems in gene? It should be giving me problems in genes. All of these basic genes should have problems because none of them implement this clone method. None of them implement this clone method. So if I open one of them, it gives me the error. So how do I refresh all of this so I get all of the errors? What's this do? Synchronize changes, no. Java. How do I rebuild the workspace? All of the genes should have errors now that I added a new abstract method to gene. How do I rebuild the workspace automatically as I'm making changes? I'm used to Eclipse and IntelliJ doing that, but I'm recognizing it's probably a setting. Test continuous. This will start a Oh, that's interesting. This continuous thing I didn't know about, but is there a way for me to do it in my workspace? Okay, I'm not going to do that. I am just going to, what about if I do this? Clean that, let's see. I don't know why it says clean and delete. It's redoing everything. I guess IntelliJ and Eclipse are relatively heavy when it does all that rebuilding for me, because Visual Studio Code did not tell me that all of my genes now have a problem. And all of my genes now have a problem because I added a new abstract method to the gene class that none of them currently implement. So they should all have problems with that. Okay, so first here, let's just go through this. Add on the implemented methods. No. No. So here, updated gene. We'll just go through this list. Chromosome, copy. I'm just going to go back to basics. I've got all of this red all over everything. Chromosome. Get rid of this, get rid of this, do this. Save this. Chromosome done. Organism. The only change I needed for organism is that I wanted to remove the override annotation from get ID. Because data quantum consumer should no longer have this. I'm making all kinds of changes at this point by hand because I'm tired of all the red. The red makes me nervous. I don't like it. Gene, why does Gene have all this red? override, that's why. Okay. And why does it have these things, these problems? Boxing of returns an integer instance representing the specified if new. What's it mean to box? What's this do? Since it's mutable, okay, got it. You're right, I don't need that. Remove extra boxing. Okay, got that. Why is this override? Because clone is part of object, isn't it? Is the clone method defined on the java.lang.object class? Okay, so we're gonna have to rename that. Where am I at? Where am I at? Genetic material, organic classes, so we can't use clone for organism repository, parents, add chromosome, clone. I don't want clone. Copy of. And then that means that here in chromosome, say copy of. Okay. See the problems now. Gene. Copy of. Right, organic. Chromosome. Copy of. Copy of. Okay. Addition gene, chromosome. What's this problem? Of course it doesn't, right? Does chromosome here have that? Get genes, set genes. Why does it say get ID? Data quantum consumer. It didn't update data quantum consumer, so it left the, wow. So it left override on get ID because it didn't recognize that I had made the change to data quantum consumer because I didn't tell it I didn't tell the LLM that I'd made a change on data quantum consumer. So this is another place where the LLM is showing its limitations. Get chromosome, clone, gene, the clone.get genes, add copy of. Okay. Fix that. Addition. Okay. This is all right, right? Okay, that's right. And now we need copy of method. Addition gene. Copy of. Addition gene. Right. Gene has copy of. It demands copy of. So addition gene. Okay, that works. And now what it needs is just what it said, where it has addition gene, copy, new addition gene. And then, why is it making so many? So many suggestions. Copy properties. What did I call it? Duplicate gene. Clone properties. I like it made those suggestions. I did the tab to take the return copy, but that made me feel dirty. It was a convenience, but there you go. So addition gene. Can I say addition gene here? Does it give me any warning? It's good. It's good. Okay, so division gene. We can say Atom implemented methods. Division gene. Division gene. New division gene. All that's normal. Return. Copy. That's good. Get rid of this. And clone properties. Copy. Again, it suggested. I didn't want it to suggest. It's got to be the cut. Oh, it's probably with my GitHub Copilot chat. Switch to install settings. Selected extensions, Copilot. Copilot completions for specified languages. Oh, dang. every language through the languages point and oh my heavens, that is way too much. That is way too much. I think I need to just disable the whole thing. I think GitHub Copilot has got to go. Disable. On the chat. Okay, so I tried to disable the suggestions, but I was not doing it in the right place again because I don't know how Visual Studio Code extensions has worked. This has all been new to me. Now I don't. Okay, GitHub Copilot chat is enabled. This I want disabled. If I disable the Copilot chat, what's it doing? What did it do? Did I run out of power? Dang it. What is going on? Okay. My computer seems to have locked up. Wow, looks like I hit the end of my computer. So I am going to need to Okay. This is interesting. I'm having to restart my computer, and it looks like the GitHub Copilot may have jacked everything up. I might have to uninstall it, which would be interesting.